Listen, Bailey has an offensive word in her reading, and she is quoting somebody, so she apologizes beforehand if that offends anybody.
A boy named Nathan Hoskins, who grew up in Kentucky, realized that he was gay in 6th grade. His good friend who was homosexual mailed a Valentine's Day card to Nathan's house. His mother had read it by the time he arrived home. She went into her closet, pulled out a shotgun, and told him to hold it while they drove out into the country, referred to as no man's land. She stalked him to the side of the road and led Nathan out into the woods. His mother stood him up against a tree, took the shotgun out of his hands, and put it to his head. She said, "This is the tree I would take my son to and blow his head off if he ever decided to be a faggot." After that, Nathan did whatever it took to not be gay. He perfected the lies he told his mom for many years. Years passed, and as an adult, he asked if she remembered that incident. Although she acknowledged the occurrence, his mother could not admit that what she did was wrong. She believed she did the right thing. Looking back, Nathan realized that he is who he's supposed to be, and that there is no other alternative. Imagine growing up in a society who hates you, more specifically your own family member, for something unanswerable. In the Bible, it states, "If a man lies with a male as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination." Leviticus. It should be clarified that neither Jesus nor God wrote the book. It was written in the Old Testament by men who lived hundreds of years before Jesus. These men were simply inspired by God and wrote down what they believed. Why would God tell us to not accept humans for the way they were born? This brings me to my next point, which is that in the Bible it says, "Accept one another, just as Christ has accepted you, so that God will be given glory." Romans. This begs the question, was Jesus ever against homosexuality? Here God is telling us to accept one another, but at the same time, the Bible says that homosexuality is wrong. It is by no means wrong to be in love with another person of the same sex. Regardless of your religion, everyone should be able to understand that there is a biological basis for homosexuality. Although it is in the Bible, I assume those people who believe everything are also following the other laws in the book, such as the passage also in Leviticus, which states, "And the pig, because the parts of the hoof which does not chew the cud, is unclean for you. Their flesh you shall not eat, and their carcasses you shall not touch." I am positive that many homophobes are unable to say that they do not eat pig meat or practice everything the Bible preaches. So the next time you say it's in the Bible, just stop and think, do I really follow everything in that book, or am I a hypocrite? People are easily swayed by others without really thinking for themselves. Have some morals and develop your own opinion. If God made and loved each one of us, why would he create so many gays that he supposedly does not have unconditional regard for? Being gay is innate, and many people have the misconception that it is a choice. But the choice is discriminating against gays. And a sin involves choice. Therefore, the only one doing the wrong thing is the one criticizing homosexuals. This is something we can control, the act of discriminating against one another. As a culture, we made mistakes in the past, and discriminating against homosexuals is a crucial mistake that we have made. We cannot base all of our opinions on those who lived hundreds of years ago, where they are not as wise and educated as people are today. Our culture has discriminated against races. Are we supposed to carry on this tradition of disliking one another simply for how they were born? We marry because we love another person. Many of us would also like to have families. Numerous gay couples have the same exact mindset, so why should they be treated any differently? We all want to fall in love and find the right person at some point in our lives. How can one do such a thing and not allow another to reach that goal? Since when is it wrong to love? Who am I to stop two committed people from loving each other? The truth is, there are always going to be homosexuals. So why would we purposely want to keep them from being happy by not allowing them to marry? What is so bad about seeing someone happy because they're with the person whom they love? Who cares if it happens to be the same sex? Happiness is happiness, and being criticized for loving someone for making them happy is inhumane. Many people believe homosexuality is wrong because a homosexual couple cannot reproduce. Correspondingly, it is like saying women who are sterile should not marry. However, women who are sterile are still allowed to marry, while homosexuals cannot. Sterility is a genetic predisposition over which these women have no control, which is also the case for homosexuals. If you're one of those who do not believe being gay is right, put yourself in their shoes for a moment. Michelle Bachman once said when referring to homosexuals, "We need to have a profound compassion for people who are dealing with this very real issue of sexual dysfunction in their life and sexual identity disorders." Seeing as how sexual identity disorders do not exist and sexual dysfunction is when one cannot be aroused, it is difficult to understand her point. This statement shows the logical thinking of the homophobe when implying that homosexuality is wrong. There are countless numbers of students who have taken their lives because people did not accept their sexuality. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services estimates estimating that as many as 30% of completed youth suicides each year have been performed by gays and lesbians as a result of getting bullied. Homophobes are the reasons gays are dying simply because homosexuality is not accepted. Why do people care anyway? If it feels right to those involved, it is no one else's business. On the other hand, I understand that being around homosexual couples might be slightly uncomfortable, but the least you can do is keep it to yourself. There is no need to create a fight. Just leave it at that and be mature. It is truly as simple as that. In order to be happy, we all need to have self-esteem and confidence. But how are gays supposed to prosper and develop confidence if they're constantly battered for who they are? This is preventing them from living like everyone else. The Declaration of Independence states, "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal." And the Constitution states, "Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex." This shows how our country is not staying true to our word. If these beliefs were to be enforced, it would mean all people would be able to marry. Since that is not the case, we do not all have equal rights. It blows my mind to see parents look their gay child in the eye and tell them that it is wrong and that it is a sickness which needs to be cured. It takes a huge amount of courage to tell a parent in the first place, and having them not like what they hear is like getting slapped in the face. Parents always want the best for their child because they never want to see them get hurt. But having your own family not accept you, the ones who are there beside you since the day you were born, is despicable. If you want to protect your child from harm and make your child feel safe, the least you can do is accept them unconditionally. Being gay is not a flaw. It is not a choice or a lifestyle, and it is not wrong.